to this week's recap of The Bachelorette, Kaitlyn.
Wow.
This episode was something else.
So it was continued from last week's Crap Fest. They have a habit of doing that this season.
What's that all about, ABC?
Alright, so Kaitlyn pulls Clint aside.
Yeah, so like, everybody's like, Clint sucks. He needs to go. And she's just like, oh?
So she talks to him, and he's got a really big head.
He's trying to play it off, like sweet talk her and be like, oh no, they're just jealous. Not of his relationship with her, of his relationship with JJ. What?
All he can talk about is JJ, and she's just looking for him to say, Kaitlyn, I want to date you.
Yeah, so she's just like, well, everyone's saying that you suck. And he's like, well, I'm a great guy. I'm gonna get a rose tonight.
I think you're more of a grow-a guy.
Ooh.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. So she's like, all right, go and say goodbye to all the guys. So then JJ's just like,
I think you better apologize to all of us. You've wasted all the time.
So now he's seeing that Kaitlyn wants nothing to do with him, so he's like, I gotta jump ship and make sure I'm all good. So he turns on Clint. It's crazy. Bromance is over.
Everybody's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So he meets him in the dumpster later on when they're saying goodbye.
Clint is freaking like, I'm gonna kill you. What the hell? What is going on here?
That Brokeback bromance is over.
I mean, it was BS anyway, but...
But then after Clint stumbles into the limo, JJ is in the shadows crying his eyes out. He gets so upset that he has to slap himself in the face.
Come on! Are you kidding me?
Okay. So when he comes back after he composes himself, everybody's ragging on him.
They're like, yo, we all know you're a douchebag, and now we know you're not a loyal douchebag.
Alright, so there's no rose ceremony because...
Kaitlyn's just, I can't do it. I can't.
Okay. Pack your bags, kids.
Chris
It's
Harrison's got some
travel
news. You will be leaving the mansion forever. Or at least until you come back for one of those other shows.
Exactly. So, first stop, NYC.
All right.
Hello, Times Square. Where's the furries? They didn't show them too
They
much.
were there. I saw them in the background.
I saw some Statue of
Elmo.
Liberty.
I saw Minion.
Okay.
I saw Statue of Liberty. They were out strong. They were out there.
Good.
Doing work.
So, it's group date time. Let's keep our love fresh.
No, they're not going to a meat locker. They are going to rap.
What's your favorite moment in hip-hop history?
New York City, 1975. All right.
Mine is New York City, 2015.
Guys, they got to work with Ep5 to write some raps.
Kaitlyn said she loves rap. I could just see her rapping.
She started rapping along with Ep5 and she was like,
knock you
Alright, so for this date, the guys will be competing against each other head to head in rap battles.
But
with a live audience.
Ashley I and Nick the villain are in the audience. It looked like the opera singer was too.
She might have been, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Ashley was on Kaitlyn's season with Chris Soules, so they're friends, but Kaitlyn supposedly did not notice Nick in the crowd sitting there with her.
But she noticed Ashley I.
Alright, so, first up, Benzie versus Tanner.
Hey, you got a small PP.
Whoa! Yeah, Tanner totally pulled out the pocket rocket, not literally. He pulled out that joke.
Jonathan versus Ryan. Who cares?
It wasn't very memorable from what we saw. Corey versus JJ. There was talk of Wolf of Wall Street because they were both, whatever.
From New York. Hey, where's your boyfriend?
Oh! That was
you got
funny.
burnt.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, and then Sean versus Justin, two personal trainers. Sean was like, check out my abs. And then Justin was like, yo, you look like Ryan Gosling. Do you remember how The Notebook ends?
She forgot you!
No!
Yeah. That was really
It was really
good.
funny, but also like, oh my god.
Yeah. Let's just say it was all really badly done.
It was just like, nobody was in the pocket. You know, Harry Connick Jr.?
Yeah. Nobody knows
Nobody was in the pocket.
how to spit those tunes.
Or rhymes.
Yeah, those two.
Okay. So then, after the whole battle was over, Kaitlyn was like, can I say hi to Ashley? And they're like, yeah, go over
and
there.
And Ashley's like, oh, look, Nick is here.
Well, she's not Canadian.
Pretty close. She's from...
Oh, look, Nick is here.
That's right. She's from Jersey.
So then it was like, and we're talking about Nick V from Andy's season.
And V is for villain.
Too perfect.
I know, right? So they had talked on social media.
Apparently they struck up a little rapport on social media. They were texting, email, Skype, whatever. But this was their first time meeting in person.
Yeah. So she wants to keep him.
She's like, is it my decision? Like, are you staying? What's going on?
Because he's like, you know what? We talked. I would feel like a douche if I didn't take this chance, you know, that you would get engaged to someone else and we never really got it on.
All right, so she's like, you know, I want to keep you, but I don't want to be rude because we are like 4 weeks into this. I don't want to like cause a lot of waves with the other guys. So she's like, I'll talk to you later.
So she goes to the boat where the guys are waiting and has, I think they were going to have dinner, but she's like,
They never eat on the show.
No.
It was probably just cocktails.
She tells the guys about Nick. She's like, yeah, we never really met.
She's trying to smooth it over. She's trying to be like, it's okay, right? And they're all just like, ugh.
We tweeted a few times, had group sex. No, I mean Skype sex.
What? All right.
A handful of times, no biggie.
They don't seem too excited about it, but then she sneaks off during the date, goes and meets up with Nick, and they freaking like make out.
Yeah. Hardcore. He was just like, so, yeah, I'm a little cold.
And she's just like, I still can't decide, so they're going to talk about it in the morning.
Let me sleep on it with you.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you sleep on it, and I'll sleep on it.
So back to the group
We won't
date.
be together.
Back to the group date. Justin gets the group rose, and everyone's just like, whatever. It doesn't really...
That was absolutely ridiculous. She was just like, all right.
Yeah, I gotta give this to somebody, so, you. Okay.
Exactly. So, next stop, the one-on-one date card arrives, and it's for Jared, a.k.a. Rasputin. He shaved all his Rasputin off.
Let's reimagine the night we met.
You know what I'm still laughing about?
What?
Everyone's black and blues that are now turning green and yellow and purple.
He's got, like, a bloodshot eye, too. His eye's messed up.
All right, so before she goes on the date, she calls Nick, the villain.
She's like, we need to meet in person. This is a in-person conversation to have.
Exactly. And she's like, oh, I have to get my hair done before the date. Let's meet, like, then.
Well, guess who the hairstylist is?
It's freaking Ashley the alien from last season.
Ashley S! With a whole basket of onions. Not really, but what? They're bringing back all the favorites in this episode.
She looked like her eyes were as big as saucers. Her eyes were so dilated, it was crazy. She was just like,
all right,
tell me about Nick.
She's doing Kaitlyn's hair. Kaitlyn's just like, Nick, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to basically ask him to be on the show, and I don't care what the other guys think. I'm going to do it.
Do you know what the difference is between lust and love?
Okay, so...
Yeah, that's how it went down. Kaitlyn's like, of course I do. I lust after everyone. Alright, so she gave her this crappy braid.
Yeah, what? But then she had different hair later. It was like very confusing. Was she doing the braid so that it would be like wavy later? I don't know. But anyway.
I don't know. Well, she meets up with Nick on a street corner and tells him, you're in.
You're gonna be on the show.
They have a very public makeout on that street corner as well. I'm surprised people weren't throwing like Rotten Tomatoes at them like, get a room, you freaks.
How many people are carrying around Rotten Tomatoes?
In New York?
I don't know.
Alright.
Alright, so it's time for Jared's date.
Well, it's at the Met.
Amazing.
When we met. They're having freaking dinner for fake in the Temple of Dinder.
Pretty awesome. They had the museum all to themselves at night. It was all night at the museum. Amazing.
It was pouring, though. I think it was crying because Nick the villain is back. All of New York was crying.
Well, she seemed really distracted. This was an amazing date, and she was just like, Nick.
All I could think of is that villain Nick. So the date card arrives back at the corral for the other kids, and it's like, all right, let's play. And all of the guys are just like, hey, Nick's name's not on here. What's going on?
Yeah, they were like talking about how they would feel if he comes back, and they're like, let's lead a revolt. And then they're like, no, it's all about her. No, I hate him, blah.
Then I forget who it was. Somebody was like, oh, you know, it shouldn't make a difference if one more stallion shows up to the party.
All right, let's leave that barn behind and talk about Jared's one-on-one date some more. He wrote this poem for her, and it was like, I like you a lot.
Lame. And he got the rose because she couldn't care less. All she was thinking about was that fella.
Well, Chris Harrison left them a note. Dear Kaitlyn and Jared and Nick, if you don't want this date to end, it doesn't have to.
So there was a limo waiting outside, so it took them to a helicopter ride around Manhattan.
That was pretty awesome. Even though it was rainy and cloudy, it looked amazing.
It wasn't raining when they went up in the helicopter.
Well,
I wonder how long they had to wait for that rain to stop before they finally got clearance to go up in the helicopter. So Kaitlyn shows up
the next day
before the group date and tells the guys, I don't give a crap what you say. I'm getting my villain. Nick's moving in tonight. Bye.
And she's like, bye. See you for the date later. Bye. Oh boy. All right. So let's leave that behind for now and talk about the second group date.
The second group date was
amazing.
Yes. Let's play. So they go to Aladdin on Broadway.
Oh my god. They go to the theater and the two freaking stars are there just like it was awesome.
Yeah.
So they find out they have to learn this little dance routine. They're going to be auditioning for the show.
They have to come up through a star lift to get popped out of the stage.
There was some real pop there too.
Ian got some real air.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they had to do their little dance. They had to sing. They had to act.
It was all a chorus led. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many boyfriends does she need?
At least 10.
A lot. All right, so it was pretty fun to watch because they were pretty terrible.
They were really bad.
It was cool though.
Ian was...
He was decent.
Marginal.
And then Chris Cupcake got up there. His voice was okay, but then he really won over the judges.
He cheesed it up. He cheesed it up. That was not... They weren't buying that either, though.
No,
I mean,
but...
it was like, who sucks the least?
But they liked his enthusiasm for it.
Wow.
So, Chris got to move on with the date. The other guys, back to the hotel.
Yeah, so it's showtime.
Yeah, because he got the part. Chris and Kaitlyn got to go on stage during the actual production to stand there and then walk off stage.
They were on a total of 5 seconds.
I mean, what do you want them to do?
I know.
I think it's pretty cool to be on stage during a Broadway show.
But from the audition, you would have thought they would have done a little bit more.
No, this is Broadway. This is the Broadway.
But that's The Bachelor, and it's romance.
Doesn't matter. All right, so that was pretty exciting. Cool to watch. Cool to see them behind the scenes. Yeah.
So they, you know, let's put that on hold. Freaking Nick is walking around Times Square like Michael Keaton in Birdman.
With the friggin' drums in the background and going through that section of Times Square. I was waiting for him to rip his pants off and start running around in his tighty whities like Michael Keaton.
No one could ever be Michael Keaton like that. I'm sorry.
It was... They had to be thinking of that when they edited the
I'm
whole
sure
thing.
they did.
Okay.
So the date continues for the other two. They go up in this...
building.
Yeah. Well, actually, they didn't actually go in. They went kind of on the outside.
They took the stairs up.
Yeah. And what's at the top? Oh my god, it's the Times Square ball.
What? That was pretty cool.
Look, they kept that thing on lockdown. I wonder how close...
They have a few, because like I saw one time in a museum.
I wonder how close they were to New Year's. Like, do you think it was maybe a little bit before or a little bit after?
I think it was probably a little after, maybe. I don't know.
Balls were still out.
All right, so he gets the rose.
And of course, they make out in front of the ball. That poor ball. Its eyes, it's probably blind now.
So back at the hotel, it's time for Nick to meet the other guys. He's moving in.
You know what's killing me? How everybody's like, oh, I'm just gonna be a jerk to him. I don't know how I'm gonna be. I'm probably gonna punch him in the face. And then Nick arrives and he's like, hey, what's up?
Hey, you want some rosé?
Hey, would you like to sleep in my bed?
I'm sure there's gonna be tension, but darn it, it was another to be continued.
So part of the little tease is Ian calling out Kaitlyn for being a trifling, shallow hoe.
Well, those weren't his words, but it's gonna be pretty crazy.
Alright, so...
And the little snippet at the end, we got an update on Britt and Brady. They're still dating, they're walking around on the beach, it's all great.
She's got her ripped pants on. She wants to get married. She could see herself getting married to him. And he can see himself singing on TV.
Alright.
Alright. Is right.
So let us know what you guys thought of this episode. How do you feel about Nick coming back? Ah!
And until next time,
much love.
Edit.